All right, so I am here with Dani Sloan from UEN. Dani, do you want to say a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi. I am one of the instructional technology trainers for UEN. We work with any public and charter school in the entire state of Utah. We also are supporting higher ed right now, too.
Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't know about the higher ed piece. So that's great.
Yeah.
So we invited you on today to talk a little bit about virtual collaboration. So there's been a lot of conversation around instruction and tier one instruction as we've made this transition to online learning through the soft school closure. But what about teachers like who are at home and principals who aren't with their admin teams? What are your ideas behind virtual collaboration? What tools are available?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you wanted to talk about this because I feel like in this time, we can be isolated as teachers without soft school closures. We can, kind of think that our classroom is our own island and feel really isolated. And so we need that collaboration. But when we're not just across the hall from someone, it is a whole lot harder. So using online tools that are available, especially free online tools, is a great way to go, because otherwise I think we might all lose our minds, Bryan. We need it. We need to collaborate with each other. We need to still meet with one another. We need to check in on one another and see how we're doing with work and with just the emotional load that's happening right now, and to share ideas. So collaboration needs to be happening, and because we are all isolated at our houses, it needs to be online.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that the adult interaction will be good for people who are isolated with their kids at home.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. We just need adult conversation sometimes. And it's nice to have a break from talking about coronavirus as well.
Yeah, exactly. So what are the tools out there that you would recommend for consistent communication, like maybe a chat type of tool, and then also like the face-to-face tools that are available?
Absolutely. So depending on what platforms your school already uses, I'm going to recommend you stick with something that you're already using. So if you're a Microsoft district using the Skype chat that you're already using, go with that. Or if you're a Google district using Google Hangouts, or I think they're called Google Meets now, or to just chat. Also, my work and I'm in school right now, so my school has a Slack channel. So Slack is another way that you can keep in communication. And one nice thing about Slack is you can even make one for just your friends. You don't all have to work in the same district or organization to have a Slack channel with one another. So those are all great ways to chat. But again, I would say sticking with something that your district already uses or something that your staff already knows is kind of best practices right now. We don't need to throw in learning a new tool.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. So even like post, so you mentioned that you were using Slack in situations. So even post all of this coronavirus stuff, those tools are useful as well. Can you talk about what that might even look like when you are in the building with your colleagues?
Absolutely. So Slack or Skype or Google Chat, whatever you're using, is a nice way to kind of send a quick note to one of the teachers that you're working with, so you don't forget. And it's not like a phone call; it's more like a text message, so they can get to it when they're not with kids. And it's nice to kind of have the documentation, like, oh, what were we talking about yesterday? And if you share documents that way, they're always in the feed. So anything that you're using like that, it's nice whether we're isolated in our own homes or whether we're just in our own classrooms.
Okay, fantastic. One of the things that we're big on at the UEPC is norms of collaboration. Um,
Yes.
and so how do norms look different from a brick and mortar setting to a virtual setting? What are some of the typical norms that you would recommend administrators implement as they move forward with this collaboration style?
That's a really good question. I think one thing is making sure that everybody is okay first. So before we start doing business as usual and doing the regular norms, we need to make sure that all of our staff is okay, that everyone can connect. So we were talking about chat tools like Slack and Skype and whatnot. there's also online meeting platforms. So right now you and I are meeting in Zoom and we can see each other. And if I didn't understand what you were saying, like you would see I had a confused face. So if you're going to be meeting with your faculty, meeting online where you can see each other's faces in something like Google Meet or Zoom is free for educators right now. Even a Flipgrid as a check-in, you can ask a question and then all of your faculty can respond, even if it's just, how are you? What questions, what problems are you facing as we're learning how to digitally work from home? So as far as norms, when we're in a meeting like this, a norm would be that your camera is always on. So as long as you're in front of that camera, it's on, so we can see each other's faces, we can see each other's body language, we can tell we're all paying attention. And then if you're not talking, your microphone is off. So just so, you know, if a kid runs in or, you know, your phone goes off or you're just a really loud breather, people don't have to hear that unless you're actually talking.
Fantastic. So as we utilize these norms and move forward, typically in a brick and mortar setting, there's like a schedule set up for PLCs or for IEP meetings or for administrative and counseling meetings. Do you recommend maintaining some sense of schedule, like while we're in this soft closure, so that people are staying communicated or being in communication with each other?
Absolutely, yes. Like we said at the beginning, like just having that adult conversation, that adult interaction is lovely, but it also helps us to stay on track, to stay focused, and to collaborate with one another. I might find that something I'm doing with my class is really successful, and so we could share that in a PLC meeting, you know, and it might look different. We may not be working as hard to making sure our students are accountable and we're looking at data. We might be more focused on what kind of activities are we providing? Can the students do this on their own if they don't have a parent at home right now? So the topics of the meetings might look differently. However, having those meetings and sticking to some kind of schedule, even if it's more relaxed, or maybe the meetings take place a little later in the day because we're allowing, you know, people who are parents to get their kids fed and started on their own schoolwork. But maintaining some kind of schedule and some kind of normalcy in this time is so useful.
Fantastic. Yeah, my team set up a daily check-in, and it's been really nice to have that going on. So I would also echo what you're saying in regards to recommending to principals to do something similar.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, and you've got some leadership experience in working with a lot of leaders across the state. What is like the one golden nugget of advice that you would give in regards to this virtual collaboration that maybe we have not covered up to this point?
You know, I think the biggest thing that we need to remind ourselves is that this is an unprecedented time. And it's okay that it looks different, as long as we do know what's happening. So finding a way for you to check in and report back, whether it be checking in with grade levels or checking in with different subject area teams, just making sure that you know what they're up to and they know that you're there for them. It's really easy that if we don't see something or if we don't see an email or something like that, we make up stories in our head about what's going on or what's expected of me and putting all of this pressure on ourselves when that it could be so far from the case. So I would say over communicate in meetings and undersend emails, because we are all getting so many emails right now. Our students are swamped with emails. Try and limit it to one email a day and then do the rest virtually in face-to-face, because it is really reassuring for your faculty to see you, to see that you're okay and that we're all in this together.
I love that. That's so powerful. Again, this is Dani Sloan with UEN. You guys offer services to all.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, talk about your services for a second.
Yes.
Let's market you.
Yes, so thank you for bringing that up. Right now, we have a ton of classes online if you are struggling with whether it be Canvas or Nearpod or Google Tools or using Utah's online library. We also realize this may not be a great time for you to take a class, but we would love for you to reach out to us if you need help setting up your Canvas or if you need an idea. I've had a lot of teachers just reach out to me with one quick question, and I can either answer it in an email or we set up a Zoom like this and we can answer the question really fast. So uen.org, or you can just email me at Dani, D-A-N-I, @uen.org.
Perfect. And we'll add all of that into our, those links into the website so folks can just click right on them.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Dani. It was good to see you, and we'll talk soon.
Great.
Okay.